Everyone keeps calling this the best team inside of Persona 5 the Phantom X, and needless to say, after hearing it over and over again, I had to find out myself. Now, I'm gonna be lying to you guys if I say this is not the most overrated team ever. It really is. And today we're gonna be putting what might be the most overrated team in the entire game to the test. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love this team quite a lot. I'm not saying the team's bad. It is fantastic. Probably one of the best teams I have on my account currently. You guys see me use it in Discord, YouTube, pretty much anytime I'm on P5X, I'm probably using this team, especially in different meta forms here. But there's a big difference between a team being popular and a team absolutely being broken. Now, this team is going to be on that borderline aspect. So today we're going to be running it in some real in-game content, looking at its damage, the consistency, survivability, and more importantly, whether it's actually worth building over some newer alternatives. By the end of the video, we'll have one answer in question, and that is this team actually deserving all the hype, or has the community massively been overrating it? So let's jump in. LUCE Note, Soy Pioneer, as well as Beach MARIAN is probably the most overtuned team inside of the game, and a lot of players really do love them for this very reason. So I'm going to try and explain each character and exactly why they're so freaking good, so a lot of you guys can understand. So we're going to go ahead and get started on LUCE Note first. LUCE Note was one of the newer AoE DPSs who is still insanely high on tier list, and he is a really good one that honestly just performs very well at a low HP standpoint. Now, we don't see many characters that just benefit off of having a low HP amount. I think the other character that we had was Ryuji, and all you have to know is his 1 and 2 skills are usually going to allow him to enhance his third skill on the explosive damage. After you go ahead and consume a lot of your HP with the skill 2, the skill 3, once you get so low, is going to allow you to absolutely shred enemies with the amount of damage you can deal. Of course, if they do have A6R6, much like myself, inside of SOS, damage calculations and such like that can absolutely be manipulated and be insane for the damage amount that you can actually deal. He was one of the first characters who actually hit the max damage cap, which was just all 9s across the board. It was insanely worth it, and it was cool. Now, the character himself not only is great in the A6R6 manner, but he also is fully good at the A0 manner himself and can still deal some explosive damage even in a short cycle or short rotation. So this character himself, you can just do anything with him and absolutely succeed. It's not really hard to build him. You build him like any other DPS, and essentially he does all the work for you. If you get dupes on him, he's even more so worth it. And then that brings us to the next character that's part of his team, being Soy Pioneer. Now, Soy Pioneer came out right after him in the next patch, in which if you ended up pulling for LUCE Note, you ended up getting Soy Pioneer for free as well. Both of the characters go hand in hand, same with their weapons, and I have to admit that they just love each other at this point, because LUCE actually works directly off of Soy, seeing that he's able to take down his own HP. But before he shreds his own HP, he's actually able to correlate with Soy Pioneer and take down Soy Pioneer's HP first in order to get all of his stacks. By going ahead and having the HP reduction that you're able to do, it significantly increases his attack amount, the amount of stacks you can really get, and this is insanely worth it. For Soy also, he can not only be a sustainer with the amount of shield that he has, being one of the best defensive roles inside the game, but he also has really high buff values, and he can debuff the enemy with a 40% defense reduction status. So he has a little bit of everything. He can be a little bit of everything, which makes him insanely good for this team, and he's not really hard to do. Man can reduce down points with just his gun attacks. He's able to give buffs, debuffs, and shields. So it's actually pretty darn nice. The only downside about him is, of course, according to a different debuffer, he can get outshined. But 90% of the time for this team, he's going to be doing everything. Hence the reason why he will stay inside of the team. And he also can work at the A0 formula. Then afterwards, we go about with Beach MARIAN. Now, Summer MARIAN herself is also another really good character. Luckily, she recently came out on the global end. This character is just allowing this team to run free, because not only is she increasing their damage values, but she does have her item list that can help you go multiple times. One, to give you a damage dealt increase, and if you do have her A1 to get the basket back a little bit quicker, you're then able to then use that time period to heal as well. So she can do a little bit of everything as well. She's boosting up your critical damage, your crit rate, you get an extra damage amount with attack percentage, party damage in total, so on and so forth. And this character does it all as well. So you guys can kind of see exactly why this is the common claims of this team is absolutely insane. They clear everything, they're most invested, they're most consistent, and these are some huge claims to say. I'm just going to be real with you. So we're going to try and go ahead and see if this will actually hold up. So let's go ahead and get into the brief showcase, and we're going to start with something small and then go into something a little bit higher. But first, I want to show you guys the weapons as well as their awarenesses and what they really do. Now, as I said before, this is a team that I did invest in quite a lot here, mainly because it is as broken as it's stated. And for the weapon for LUCE Note, he melds a little bit of everything together. With just having this weapon, it not only just multiplies the amount of damage he can deal, but it allows him to get the extra critical damage that he needs by 36%. Now, I have it maxed out, so it's at a good 69%, of course, and a base amount, it can be at 42%. We have it at 80% for the attack values, and then of course the last thing is 16.4% at the smallest amount, going up to a max of 31.4% for critical rate. So this weapon is actually really good. You could very well use this 4-star weapon as well. You're gaining yourself Night Blessing. Whenever you have that Night Blessing, which is one of his passives, it increases his damage, which is pretty darn decent to do. But the 5-star weapon is just so good that it's kind of hard to avoid. Now, granted, the 4-star weapon does look kind of clean though, but I do like the 5-star weapon, and it's look, it matches all of his colors perfectly, which is awesome. Also, when you're using the 5-star weapon, you get that critical rate buff by spending HP, which you're always going to be doing. So essentially, he's insanely great. His awareness wise, also end up getting him A6 for a good reason, because if you get him A6, not only are you able to deal even more damage, but LUCE himself is now able to go into the negatives for his HP. By going into negatives, he can also gain more stacks, and he gains something called Knight's Monarch, where it increases his damage by 30%, his critical damage by 30%, and his skill damage increases by 120%. So it's actually kind of insane that he's able to do this. He also gives himself an extra 3 stacks of Knight's Contract, which is going to allow you to deal even more damage. But this is at the what's it called, throughout the start of the battle that you're obviously going to get this. So it's actually a very fantastic awareness that you can have. The same thing is going to go for the other 2 characters that we need to talk about, and that is going to be our Soy and our MARIAN. Soy himself is more than likely just helping us get more and more HP to just take this away so we can get it for our LUCE Noct. But Soy is also helping with his duplicates, because I do have A6, seeing that he's able to get a different thing called a reserved round stack. And when he has 2 of these, he can enter a different mode called Suppressing Fire. Suppressing Fire pretty much takes all the ammo that you got from the reserve round stacks and converts them. This then allows him not only to damage the target even better, but increase the target's down damage by 8%, which is fantastic to actually use. It also makes it so their damage taken is about 15% overall, and the critical damage taken is about 10% overall, which can also be stacked. He also will do a fixed amount of damage up to 3,333, which you guys can also see right down below here, of his max HP. So having a lot of HP on him is always going to be a great factor, and allows him to deal some extra damage. If you ended up investing into the weapon, which I didn't fully go to it, the weapon itself gives you not only max HP, but it helps you with critical damage whenever you put a shield on the party, and whenever you deal gun damage, it decreases the target's defense by 15.8%. If you're using the 4-star weapon, it still gives you the shield that you want to have. You're also still getting extra HP out of it when you gain a shield, but you're missing out on the critical damage and of course the defense down, which is what makes this character so suitable to be a well-rounded unit. Afterwards, we're going to go ahead and talk about Summer Marian. And Summer Marian's in the aspect where a lot of you guys actually know what she does at this point. I already kind of briefly explained it. She's giving us multiple different cases of allowing us to get different buffs, can heal, can easily just debuff the enemy. And of course, since we have her A1, we're getting some of that extra prescription stacks that will allow us to get our turns a little bit quicker. Plus, the effectiveness of our medicine is now by 20%, which is also very nice. I don't really have the higher duplicates on her. I kind of wish I did go for them, but she does everything that she needs to do. And then of course, you guys know my Anj, so I don't really have to explain too much on that one. But now we explained all of these here and we've kind of explained their builds. I'm trying to keep this realistic, right? I know not everyone's gonna have some whale builds like this, but if you guys see how much I invested into this team, you probably can understand why this team is very overrated. So first things first, let's go against a hard boss. Let's just take it out for a spin and see what we can do here. Dude, I really kind of love this team though. This team is like one of the most fun teams for me, and it's just because it does way too much dang damage, whether it's something that you use as just a normal person, whether it's something that you're using inside of just the game itself. This is a team that I truly do feel like they probably overtuned the Christ out of. I really don't think they should have made him this busted as he is, but hey, I'm not gonna complain too much because either way it's still a good team for me. So I'm gonna take what I can get. But we're gonna use our skill 3 if I'm right, and Soy's over here looking clean as usual. Get the actual puff. We can go ahead and use whatever we want to use again. I think I'm just gonna continue spamming the damage taken buff here, or to just keep spamming what I need to spam here. It's not really going to be too much of a problem. So let's use our skill 1, get some damage off with her, and then on this one I could pop an highlight. I don't think a highlight's really going to hurt us, but I'm going to pop this off with no, yeah, let's just pop it off with him, because I don't think I'm going to use this versus anyone else here. Though the highlight does increase our damage based on the missing HP, so we might have to figure that out as well. But let's go ahead, get that extra hit off. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this is actually 8, so let's get the 8th one here as well. So boom, we get the 8, and let's use our skill 1. Boom, that kills again. So it's the fact that he just dishes out so much damage that is the scariest part, because it's not that the character doesn't miss any damage markers. He's just dealing so much that it makes no sense for it to be fair. In fact, this makes it even worse because the team itself is just running through it. He's always running through it, and you don't really have a true problem. Now, I do think the main issue for this is probably going to come down to like the healing factors, but lucky for me, I ended up bringing a healer persona as well, just to make sure that we don't end up dying. So I think that should be fine. Let's use our skill 1 here. And I think things are going to start getting dicey, so let's just start popping this off. Bop. Get this one here. Bop. Boom. Okay, so we got the weapon that we needed, or at least got the damage off that we needed. I do worry though, because with the amount of damage that we're able to perform, I do have to hope that we can continuously blitz these dudes on down. That is my issue, because if we can't blitz them down, then we slowly will die, and that's not going to be really part of the, you know, certain way that I want to go out right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this again, use our lovely amount. I'm pretty sure this should be, so we used skill 3, we used that last time. I think I can honestly just use skill 3 again and we should be fine. I don't think we need to do any buffs here or anything like that. So bonk, they're gone again, and that's an easy 17 mil. So I ended up dying because I honestly wasn't paying attention to my shield at the time. And the only reason why I'm actually voice overing this part here is because as I was recording the next half of it, I was not actually unmuted. So this whole part is all muted. I was explaining like the beginning of the battle again, showing how they can actually live quite a lot. The only main issue with this team is you do have to kind of babysit it, especially on auto, because sometimes they'll drain so much HP that they will never heal themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the damage speak for itself. You're gonna see the actual recording now. I've been talking to myself this entire time, so I'm probably gonna have to like voice over that or something for you guys. But I just noticed I was talking to myself, and I'm leaving this in the video because it's kind of crazy, but I just noticed I was talking to myself this entire dang time, and I want to cry because it's been about 5 whole minutes that I've been talking to myself. Whatever, but you guys have noticed here, this is the final round. It's insane, and you deal honestly a little bit too much damage with this team. It just makes no sense how much damage it's able to just pull out of nowhere for you. And we don't even have our extra turns. We don't have any of that other good stuff, right? We're still able to keep everyone sustained. We're still able to obviously get what we need done and have our way with whatever we need to do. Now, since my HP is a little low, I'm going to use her extra material, or at least her extra turn for this, to actually buff, and then we can do something like this, or at least to actually heal, because then everyone's healed. No one has shields besides, of course, our soy. So I do prefer to keep our survivability looking pretty good, and we can't revive because we already used that early in, which as I was saying when I was muted, I wanted to show you guys on the screen. But what we can do is we can get a lot of stacks here and then just start prepping. So we got our stacks on up, boom, get a little slash on in here. And I do believe the next hit we do is killing. So he's gonna hurt. They're probably gonna kill soy. I think we still have a revive from right, so it doesn't even matter if he dies. In fact, we still get him back up, so didn't even matter. This was like we just never died there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm buffing. Soy is going to go ahead and use his hits, and actually I'm going to go ahead and knock them down as well in a second. So let's use our skill 3. I think our skill 3 with on should be ready at this point. Yeah, so this is just this is it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're not living this. There's no possible way they're gonna end up living this, so I don't got anything to worry about. I know for a fact they're not gonna go, or at least they're not gonna live this. So let's pop that on off. We're gonna use our double alt here, making sure we can just get some extra damage on in here for the actual fixed damage. Get this on off as well. And I don't think the frame does anything for us at this point, since they're already down. We just deal some small damage to them. And I'm going to put the shield on, giving us the extra buffs. And then LUCE should be able to just kill everything in front of us. So let's go ahead and give everyone a buff here again. And if I'm correct, should be able to pop off LUCE. Okay, yeah, we have everything we need. So let's pop off this as well, making sure we get some not only extra damage, but get a couple debuffs on them. Pop off these for the extra buffs that we do need, which should get us to 12. Oh no, it got us to 11. And this is the end of them. So Overtuned team, insanely busted. I really don't know what else you want to see from this, but we're gonna go ahead and do this inside of the bosses, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how these do work here, and just let it do whatever it wants to do, because I'm going to explain the team what they're really going to be doing while they're on auto. And I think I might have to do the same thing at the beginning of this too, because like now that I know I've been talking to myself the entire time, I have to figure out how I'm going to redo that. But let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I know some people have actually asked the question, how does the team do on auto? How well does it perform? Are the rotations decent? In long fights, are they good? Well, inside the last battle, when I actually go over the recording again and actually redo the voicing, you guys are noticing on auto, they do pretty darn well, and you're going to see it again in here where they do very well. They actually do good on their rotations to an extent, though resource management is where things is a little bit of a problem, because inside of auto, they won't heal themselves with the items. They will use, of course, Wonder's persona for healing, but they won't heal themselves with items, of course. The AI physically doesn't really do that often. So that's a problem. For resource management, that is an issue. And then also another issue is whenever they are starting, they immediately do this, where they just go ahead and use all of his skill 2 amount that he does have and waste it on the first turn. So whatever you're fighting, do understand that if you have A6 R6 LUCE, they're probably going to do this within the first turn or 2, which means you're not going to get the ultra big boy damage. Does this define anything or make this even worse for you? No. In fact, the team doesn't have any problems after they use the big boy move. It's just you won't ever have the huge amount of stacks that you have ever again. But it still does work. It still works perfectly fine. You don't need the 2 extra the 2 extra retries or anything like that. You really don't have to have it. Now, the other problem it does have is if you're using Anj, as you notice, instead of using that on his skill 3, they will use it on his off skill time period or his off damage period, meaning he's gonna use his skill 1 twice. This is a little bit of a problem on the auto battle fights, which is kind of annoying to deal with, though it still keeps you in check if you are on the higher investment side. Lower investment LUCE might be a little bit different. Like, he still will deal a lot of damage, but we have to keep in mind that you're probably not going to have as high of a shield. You're probably not going to deal nearly as much damage because you can't go in the negatives. So do keep in mind for AI battles or auto battles on the low investment side, that's where things are a little bit of a problem for the sustainability tests. Though the biggest problem with this team isn't that like it's a bad damaging team. The biggest problem with the team, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the next battle, we're not going to take a break here or do a cut here. The biggest problem with this team is the sheer problem that its sustainability, although it is very strong with Soy himself doesn't protect this team. It won't ever protect this team, and I tossed in the wrong team by mistake. Soy himself won't ever protect this team. It is going to be a team that truly relies on some people jumping in. Like, you have to have some watchful eyes over it, mainly because he himself will live. You will live. That is not a problem. But what will happen is, seeing that you're draining so much HP in your team, you're going to end up dying. It also does take a lot of investment to do this. It does require specific characters, such as having Soy and MARIAN inside the team to do this. And it is very weak if you forget your rotation. If you don't do your rotation quite correctly, if you're not keeping track of that count, that is the issue of the team. You start to just mess it up. You start to do a lot of issues that normally you wouldn't do with other teams too much. Now, in the time period of investment side, will other characters outperform it? There's only, I think, 2 characters outperforming him right now, which is obviously Aegis. Aegis is really good of a character at the moment, and so she's outperforming him in that term. But other than that, I guess if we're looking at single target side, Starlight On is outperforming him, but he's still at the tip top of damage markers for AoE dealers. He has not went anywhere. He has not been like surpassed by anyone else other than Aegis. And I think he still has one of the most solid teams you could have inside of the entire game. The ceiling is absolutely high, and you can actually reach that pretty nicely with him too. So I don't really have a problem. Now, the only way to balance this that I have to say is, although we have all these issues with this said team, it doesn't make the team bad. It's not bad at all. Even with these issues, it still trucks through them and it still goes good. The biggest strength for this, to be fair, is like burst damage, easy farming, easy for absolutely destroying SOS and Mirror. Great for smooth gameplay, and it's future proof. Like, if you invest into this, you're already getting 2 characters for free. If anyone went for MARIAN Summer, that's another character you get for free as well. So there's not much that you have to really worry about with this team for future proofing, not much you have to worry about for being power crept, and that is the beauty of using LUCE Note. Now, at the end of the day, I would say this team, for me, yes, it is still overrated, but it deserves to be up here. After taking the time out for testing this, and I've played this team so many times, like ever since he came out, I have not stopped playing this team. So after taking a lot of time testing this, a lot of time playing the team, it is overrated, yes, but it is arguably for a good reason. Main reason is because after seeing highlight clips, after playing the team for long, after noticing how crazy it breaks the game, it has all the damage that you're looking for. It has all of the things that you're looking for. Though it has some small limitations, being on the higher investment end, you can do everything with the right setups. If you have good execution of actually building up your characters, being consistent with the insane numbers that you're going to be able to get makes this even better. But as always, let me know how you guys feel about this. That said, I understand if other people do recommend other teams, and when everything does come together, although it is satisfying and undeniably powerful, it is definitely a team that does take a lot of at least convincing and investment to make better. I do think that the community does make it very overrated and oversells it, but I guess you could say that it is valued. After seeing the gameplay today, I can't really deny that. So I mean, like, it is what it is in that degree. So you guys let me know how y'all feel down below in the comment section. And until then, do you think this team deserves all the hype? Do you think it's one of the most overrated teams itself? Just let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.